Good morning and welcome to P&B Sports Show. I'm Aroko Tom. Last night in Asaba, the lights were bright, the crowd was loud, and the basketball told a story that will not be forgotten in a hurry. It was a dramatic ending to the Grits and Glory Basketball Showdown tournament as the grand finale exploded into life with passion, youth, and raw talent on full display. When the final buzzer sounded, Imo Dragons stood tall, powering past Delta Force with a commanding 96-70 victory to be crowned champions of the Showdown Asaba, Grit and Glory. But make no mistake, this was not just about the final score. For Delta Force, young stars stepped into the spotlight. Donald led the charge with 13 points, backed by Ogechi Kelvin with 12 and Obika Temple adding 9, showing heart, hunger, and a glimpse of the future. Yet, on the night where moments mattered the most, it simply wasn't enough. Imo Dragons had answers, they had composure, they had control. Titus Peters delivered 13 points, Apene Anthony followed with 12, and orchestrating it all with calm authority was the enigmatic point guard Victor Sunday, whose leadership and crucial 5 points helped complete a dominant of 96 points performance. Last night wasn't just a final, it was a celebration of young talent, resilience, and the growing power of grassroots basketball in Nigeria. So welcome back. Well, now we'll be moving on to the Premier League as we had a very dramatic finish from Arsenal. It was 2-1. We had 2 own goals from Wolves, and it was a fantastic finish for Arsenal. Even though Arsenal couldn't finish well behind the net, but they ended up winning the match. And to break down this Premier League analysis, we have our own sports analyst and football analyst, Ero John. Ero, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Tom. I'm very fine, thank you. How are you doing? It's a pleasure to meet you once again.
Same here. So I'm talking about the Wolves and the Arsenal match. What's your first take when it comes to that match?
I would say I'm quite disappointed at Arsenal despite the win because myself and so many other followers have expected a very easy ride for Arsenal, considering the fact that Wolves have not been so much of a good team this season. They've lost so many games, they've conceded a huge amount of goals. And then we just saw an Arsenal side that basically struggled to defeat them. But then again, a win is a win at the end of the day. Because that's the most 3 points. They got it, kudos to them. But that's a boost in their title chart. But I must say, it's not a convincing win. Even so many Arsenal fans have had the opportunity to speak to us at the game. They all express their shock and disappointment. It also states that maybe Wolves are just trying to rediscover themselves. They are trying to get back on their feet. It also starts to see that after struggling to score in late innings equalizer, they ended up losing the game. But regardless, it was a disappointing display for me, and I believe that Arsenal will be better going forward.
Okay, but I think people are not surprised because this is one thing that we actually expect from a team like Arsenal. But moving forward, no, I'm not trying to antagonize them, but I feel it's something that we expect moving on. They always start well, but the finishing is not something to write home about. But moving forward, we saw an Arsenal team that didn't score on the opening play, yet they still won. What does this say about the value of the team? Because we can see that a team like Arsenal that added different players to their team, they stacked up their squad this season. What do you think about this performance from an Arsenal standpoint?
The performance was below par. It was very disappointing, like I mentioned earlier. It's not something one would expect from Arsenal. If the Chelsea and the Manchester United side that are not even up to Arsenal's performance level this season can defeat Wolves convincingly. Arsenal and Arsenal side are sort of tilt that is defeating everybody they play against. I mean, before that one, if you saw what some Arsenal fans on Twitter and the likes were saying, one of them even said if Manchester United can defeat Wolves, I think 2 or 3 after looking how many goals Manchester United scored.
I think that was 3. I stand to be corrected.
He says Arsenal will score 8 goals. I was happy. But when they were struggling to get goals in the game, I placed the call across to him and I said, what's going on? But I've not seen one goal talk of scoring 8. So it was a disappointing performance considering the caliber of players they have, considering the kind of lineup they used in that game, and then considering the way Wolves have been playing this season. One would expect that Arsenal would have won that game convincingly. I was expecting a 4-goal to nil victory or a 5-goal to nil victory. Having to see that Arsenal was struggling to score a single goal, and you are playing a match not score a goal from 3 goals that were in that match, none of them came from Arsenal. But like I said, a win is a win, and 1 goal will not come if there is no pressure. So kudos to them from one end, but that was disappointing. If they continue like this, I can tell you for a fact that they will gradually lose grip on that first position.
Okay, so we've seen Arsenal. It seems like they've been having issues while playing teams that have been playing low block, and we've been seeing that they also try crossing, and it seems like the crosses were not working for this Wolves team. And it seemed like Arsenal. Let's be honest. Most of the time, they always attempt most of their goals from crosses, and these days from set pieces. So what do we expect from a team like Arsenal, and how should they handle such issues against teams that play low block? Because when you are playing low block, you have a lot of people playing defense. And the honest truth is, Wolves would have won that match convincingly if not for the 2 own goals. So what is your take on that?
Let me use this language, permit me. The truth don't do it. You see that is because you see when the season started, we even explained them set this FC. There's no game that goes by and they don't score from either a free kick, a long throw, or a corner kick. Or like you have said, they start crossing the ball and before you know they score 2 or 3. I watched the game this season that all the goals they scored in that match was on set. But guess what? If you watch the last 3 games, it is gradually declining. This is because when teams now prepare to play them, they do a special training for set pieces. You understand? So if you went to play against Chelsea, Enzo Maresca said in his post-match interview that he dedicated one day of his training for that match. So defending Arsenal set pieces, that he had to go and watch all the goals he scored from set pieces. So as to know how to counter it. You see, some teams are beginning to understand the tactics used behind these things. And so when as a manager you see that these things are coming to play, you start to develop another plan. I can tell you for the fact that if Mikel Arteta does not develop a plan B and continues like this, we will get to a time that Arsenal will struggle to score one goal in a match, because if a goal does not come via a corner, if a goal does not come via a cross or via a free, they can't score from open play. And that's really a poor one. I'm not against them scoring from set dishes. It's part of football. If that works for you, fine. All I'm saying is people are beginning to understand things. People are beginning to know, okay, this is who I'm going to mark. And people will not know it. This is how they set up. This is how they arrange themselves.
Yes.
And the moment things get hold of this tactic, it's over for you as a manager. So from now on, Arsenal should develop another plan. If you come up with another backup plan, if set pieces does not work, if crossing and dodging does not work, if throwing long throws does not work, what then do we resort to? What then do we do? We saw in that game, at some point they got frustrated because, like you said, Wolves is a low block team. They don't come out, they stay all in the box. So they overpower the Arsenal attack because of their numerical strength in the box. So in cases like that, what do? Let's take away the fact that if what would that have done? They would have lost in like that. After needs to come up with a better plan. They need to start improving on scoring from open play rather than only relying on success.
Okay. But moving forward, we saw the first own goal from John Stone. What is your take on that own goal? Do you think that the own goal was do you think it was just a mistake, or do you think that it's something that could have been easily avoided?
There was no way that could have been avoided. There was no way. That was a honest mistake. I mean, the goalkeeper tried to take out the ball, and he didn't even when the ball hit him and entered the goal. So it was a very honest mistake. I will not say that that was a completely honest mistake. From now perspective, somebody else perceived as his error, but that was not an error. He saw the ball, he tried to take out the ball, he lost sight of the ball, and he didn't even know when the ball hit his back and entered the goal post. You can't blame him on that. I mean, he does not have eyes on the back or at the back of the head to have seen the ball. So that was a very honest mistake. I mean.
Yeah, then obviously we saw another goal from a very, very talented player, Aroko Dari. What is your take on his goal and the way he scored that goal? And take note, this is a player that hails from Nigeria, and it seems like all the Nigerian players before AFCON, they are. What is your take on the young man?
Okay, the guy, I like one thing I particularly like about Sozo. I don't want to pronounce his other name, I can't pronounce his name correctly. He's a very strong and aggressive player. These are players like they give you an advantage up front. They are players that have striker presence, like I've told you before. When you have a player like Chozo in your attack, I can assure you that your opponent's defenders, they will have a hard time. He's aggressive, he's quite fast. He's determined. I've watched him a couple of times. I like the fact that he's determined. He really wants to prove a point. He really thinks that, I have something to prove and I want to prove it. And so that's a good one. That's an advantage for me as a player, as a young player. It's also a good one for the Wolves team. It's good to see that he's finally got a goal. He's finally scoring for them. He has the coach of the team around there has given him so much time. Has had enough playing time. And then trying to get the goal against Arsenal is a huge moral booster. It's one that we actually affecting positively going forward. That was a beautiful goal. I mean, that goal reminded me of the likes of Robin van Persie, where the ball is almost fast. They just find a way to snap their head and get the ball back. You see that the goalkeeper cannot make a single move, because I personally believe that the goalkeeper even did not think that Chozo said would have gone to that ball.
Yes.
That was a beautiful goal, and it came at a beautiful time.
Okay. So moving on to Arsenal, we saw Arsenal they were heavy on possessions the likes. But it seems like psychologically, this is a team that have been on top. But it now seems that they are getting used to being on top at the beginning and falling short moving forward. But what is your take on a team like Arsenal? Do you think that moving forward, that this particular match is going to help their mentality and the way they move into other matches? Take note that they didn't put any goal at the back of the net. They were both own goals. So how does this affect their the way they look at matches? Because you've rightly said that football is a game of mental strength and not just physical strength.
I think this match is even going to affect them negatively. And I'll tell you why. Yes, they won the game, they got 3 points, good and fine. They maintained their top spot on the table. But it's going to affect them negatively. The reason it's going to affect them negatively, in my opinion, is this. I mean, you played against one of the worst teams in the Premier League right now. They've had a run of 4 games, they've had a run of bad games. And then you are already a team that is favourites to win the league at this point in time. And then you are struggling to score, not just to win, you are struggling to score against people. It took you 2 goals to win the game. You see, it's not issues that the performance was poor, the performance was below par. I can boldly say that result was against the run of play. I mean, Wolves should have gotten at least that result should have ended. I'm not speaking from a rival perspective. I think it should have ended in a draw. I think that would have created more consciousness and awareness in the Arsenal team. So, I think the coach and the team psychological experts, they need to talk to the players, they need to sit them down, they need to let them know that there's this Down syndrome in this team. We often start very well, but along the line, we find ourselves declining. Let's not make it happen again, because it's not looking like it's a trend. If they were to be Nigerians, we would say it's a generational cross. They need to talk them out of that. They need to at least let us come with doubt as well. Let us be doubt as a fire. Thank God the line of Gabriel is back. So they now have another star in the attacking lineup. Now they have Gyökeres, they have Gabidis, they have Emery in the attack. So let's see what comes of all. I strongly support you. They need to sit these players down and talk to them psychologically. If they have to organize a fasting and prayer session for them.
Okay. So now we are looking at the Premier League table, and we can see that we have a team like Manchester City trailing behind. We have a team like Aston Villa. We have a team like Chelsea. We have a team like Chelsea. Even though I'm not too happy to say that we have a team like Chelsea as one of the contenders. But moving forward, it seems like if Arsenal lose their next match and Manchester City win their next match, Manchester City is going to be topping them, because I think we have Arsenal at 36 and we have Manchester City at 34. So what is your take? And take note, I think we had Manchester City win a match over the weekend, and that was I think that was 3-0. We also saw Chelsea. Chelsea were the ones that actually broke the generational curse after winning Barca. So first of all, what is your take on the table moving forward? Analyzing the table. And secondly, what do you think about a team like Manchester City and the way they performed, and also a team like Chelsea that have succeeded in breaking the generational curse? And how does this affect the dynamics of the table?
Okay, first of all, I think Manchester City is a very formidable side. We all know that. Somebody once said one of the worst things that can happen to you as a manager is to have Pep Guardiola chasing you on the table. Is to have Pep Guardiola chasing you, following you from behind. It's a problem because they are very consistent and formidable. We often pray that they don't find their feet, because once they do, it's difficult for them to do straight. And we have seen that already. Ever since they climbed seconds to the table, they've not come down again. They've been winning and they are getting clean sheet, they are winning convincingly. It's a problem. And then there's an Arsenal team that have discovered over time that does not know how to handle pressure. This is the same thing that happened to Arsenal last season. This is the same thing that happened to them last 2 seasons. The moment they get pressure on the table, they begin to decline. I don't know why. So the table right now is very dynamic, it's very dicey. I think Arsenal has picked up of the table. They are trailing, they are winning, they are ahead with 2 points. If they lose one game and Manchester City wins one game, Manchester City climbs the table, and that will be a case of Otilo is gone. The table is not, it's still open, but not so open. It's still open in the sense that from the 4th position to I think the number 8th or 9th position, you have just at least 1 or 2 points difference between them. Chelsea stopping the next person with 2 points, and Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Sunderland, they are on the same points. So the table is still quite open. There's still opportunities for everybody. There's still opportunities for everybody to switch position and take their right place on the table. But my particular concern is for the best 2nd and 3rd position. I don't know why strongly I feel like at some point Aston Villa will come down on the table. I think that at some point they will go to where they belong. And the rightful owners of that position will take it.
Who are the rightful owners of that position? Please.
Chelsea, of course.
You are being. I think you are being partial. And with us. No. Manchester United, they are not in the conversation. But let's leave Manchester United out of this. We are looking at Arsenal. Arsenal's starting line. We usually start with 4-3-3, and they actually have a formation that can transition to a 3-2-5. What is your take on the way Arteta has been able to use his players so far? Considering the fact that Arsenal has been a team over time that has had players with injuries, and they've been trying to rebuild the team, and the team that is trying to rebuild that team, it's usually not easy for a team like that, and they are topping the table at the moment. So what do you think about the way he has handled the new players that have come on the team so far?
I think he has done so well. I'm going to give him credit. I'm going to give him kudos. He has really done a marvelous job in handling the players and the team in general. His formation, his style of play, I mean, you can see results. He's presently top of the table. He has really done well. He has been amazing with that. I'm not going to take that away from him. And then I told you something some time ago that one of the greatest gifts the God gave to me was the investment in sports debt. He got a couple of young players to strengthen the team, not necessarily as starters, but as good backers, and that's paying off very nicely for him. They have played about 3 games now without Gabriel and Saliba, and there's not so much difference. You see, that's an evidence of sports that he has done so well in trying to rotate players. He has done so well in trying to find good positions for some players. We see how he has been able to manage the likes of Gabriel Martinelli very well. He knows the game to start him. He knows the game to bring him off the bench. That's the beautiful one. Same for Trossard. He knows the games to start Trossard. He knows when to bring Trossard out the bench. I know how many games Trossard have saved Arsenal this season coming off the bench. Same as Martinelli. And that's a very beautiful thing to do. That's a beautiful one. So I'll give him his credit. The only place I think he will have issues is when Odegaard is fully fit. I think he will have problems starting Odegaard and Eze, who begins to start because of the truth. Declan Rice cannot go to the bench. Zubimendi cannot go to the bench. And then Eze is not particularly a winger. So Eze may not be able to thrive excellently from the left wing of the pitch. So I think that's the only place that Arteta will have some headache, because Odegaard is a fantastic player. As a matter of fact, he's the captain of the team. So if Odegaard is in full shape, Odegaard is not a player you can easily drop on the bench. And then there's a fantastic case also. So I think that's the only time I'm watching to see Odegaard just came back. He's still trying to gain match fitness. Once he's fully fit, I'm trying to watch and see how Arteta is going to manage the Eze and Odegaard situation. But aside that, he has done a fantastic job. His squad rotation is beautiful. He gives players game time, and that's a beautiful one. Thank God he now has Gabriel Jesus. I pray he doesn't go back injured in less than 3 games again. He has another options in attack, and that's fantastic for him.
Okay. But moving forward, I think their next Premier League match, it will be Everton. What do you think that? What are your predictions on that match? Do you think that they will be? Do you think that they are going to take that game? And because if not, that game is what we call a do or die. So if they do not take that game, they will be falling. So what is your opinion on that particular match? Do you think they will be able to take it?
Yes, I believe they are even going to win the match from Wednesday. I'll tell you why. This is in their beautiful team. And if Chelsea can defeat Everton, sincerely, I was not expecting Chelsea to defeat Everton and love the opponents. If Chelsea can defeat Everton and even go back to finish, I don't think there's anything too difficult for Arsenal to do there. But then again, this is football, anything can happen. But personally, I see Arsenal winning the game, not just because they are a better side than Everton, because like you have said, it's a two or die game. There is everything to fight for. They need to win. They really do need to win. Because I can tell you for a fact, if Arsenal comes down from that first position, they will never climb it to the second. So it's a win-win game for them. They need to win it. They need to restore their confidence. They need to restore their title trash completely. So yes, I think they can win the game.
I think you've given us a fantastic analysis. And one thing that we know is that usually in the mid-season, once we have the break and when we come back in January, we usually don't see the same Arsenal as we saw previously in the season. So we hope that in January that it will not be the same storyline. But thank you so much, Erojon, for your in-depth analysis. You've always been fantastic. So thank you so much. Yes, the pleasure is all ours. Okay, so moving forward, we'll be moving on to our next segment, and that segment is our Athlete of the Day segment. And our Athlete of the Day is Tolu Arokodare, the Wolves forward who delivered when it mattered the most. Born in Nigeria, Arokodare's journey is a story of patience, resilience, and steady growth. He began his professional career in Europe with Valmiera FC in Latvia, where his physical presence, aerial strength, and eye for goal quickly stood out. That breakthrough earned him a move to FC Köln in Germany before further development spells across Europe helped shape him into a complete modern striker. Arokodare is known for his power, hold-up play, and ability to trouble defenders, especially in high-pressure moments. Standing tall and strong, he gives his team a focal point in attack and brings others into play with intelligent movement. He's our Athlete of the Day because of his late equalizer. At defeat, Arokodare stepped up, punished the defensive lapse, and reminded everyone why strikers lever. That is why Tolu Arokodare is and will be our Athlete of the Day. Oh, thank you so much once more, Erojon. It seems like football can be cruel at times, and at the Emirates this weekend, football felt the full weight of it. Arsenal may not have been at their fluent best, but they showed resilience, belief, and the ability to fight until the very last second. 2 own goals, 1 dramatic finish, and 3 vital points that will matter towards the end of the season. We'll keep tracking how these fine margins continue to shape the moments and how we're going to move forward. Well, you guys should follow us on all our social media platforms. On YouTube at Politics&BusinessTV.English, Facebook at Politics&BusinessTV.English, Instagram at PNBTV_ENG, on X, formerly Twitter, at PNBTV_ENG. From myself, Tom, and our entire team, it's bye for now.